Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about Model Context Protocol or MCP. As we know that currently everyone is talking about AI, everyone is implementing AI. So in terms of AI, we should know about what is Model Context Protocol or MCP. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand the entire concept of MCP. We will discuss what is MCP, how it works, how it helps, what is the need of MCP or Model Context Protocol. Okay, so these all things we are going to discuss in this session and in this series also, because from today we are going to start the series. Firstly, in this session mainly we will be talking about the theoretical concepts and all the interview questions, and then later one by one we will perform all the things practically to understand how to implement the Model Context Protocol. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on Model Context Protocol, MCP. But prior to that, it would be really very interesting if you can check out the other courses on Cloud AI, GitHub Copilot, and many other series related to AI. Okay, and if there is any question, you can simply reach out to me through comment section. I would be more than happy to answer all your questions. Okay, so alright, let's get started and see what is Model Context Protocol or MCP. So definition wise, it's very simple and straightforward. You can see MCP or a Model Context Protocol is an open standard that allows AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini to securely connect with external tools, applications, databases and APIs. Okay. So in simple terms, you can say that it is an open standard. Standard means rules, some sort of rules that we have to follow. And if we follow that rule, then it will allow us to connect the AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini to securely connect with the external tools, application, database and APIs. Okay, so basically it helps us to connect with external tools, application, database and APIs. Okay. And if someone asks you in a very simple or layman terminology, what is MCP? So you can simply say that MCP is like a USB Type-C port for a AI. Why? Because just as USB Type-C lets different devices connect easily, similarly MCP lets AI connect with different tools using one common standard, that is Model Context Protocol. Okay. So I think this part is clear. What is Model Concept Protocol? Model Context Protocol. Okay. And going forward, maybe I will refer the AI models with the name ChatGPT, because most of the people know AI as a ChatGPT, right? So just although it is not true, because there are so many other things beyond ChatGPT also. But yeah, just to make the things familiar for everyone, we will refer the term AI model with ChatGPT, just to make the things easier for them. Okay. Alright. Now the question comes, why do we really need MCP and why we have created this MCP? So to understand this thing, to answer this thing, firstly we will try to understand what would happen if we are not utilizing MCP or Model Context Protocol, or what were happening earlier when we were not using the MCP protocol. So for that, you can see there are 3 pointers which will answer this question. Okay. So we know that every AI tool needs a different integration if there is no MCP. Okay. So in that case, developer writes custom code for each AI model, and due to which integration becomes difficult and expensive at the time. Okay, because what we are doing, we are creating different AI tools related integration code, right? And every model has different code, every tool have different code and understanding. So in that case, developer are supposed to write multiple maybe redundant code for each model. right? And due to which integration becomes very difficult and expensive also. Okay, so this was the issue when we were not using the MCP protocol. But now we have MCP protocol that really helped the to find the solution. But before that, let's check out these examples. Okay, so suppose we have multiple models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and multiple tools like Gmail, Google Drive, Slack. So if you want to use Gmail through ChatGPT, you need a custom code. Similarly, for Google Drive, you need a custom code. For Slack also, you need a custom code. And these things would be different if we are changing the AI model. Like if you are using Claude, again things would be changes. If you are using Gemini, again things would be changes, right? So that's the main issue, that it causes lots of repeated work. Okay. On the other hand, when we are using MCP protocol, so it really helps us. How? Let me show you. So here you can see developers simply create one MCP server. Now every AI that understands MCP can use it. Okay, every AI model. So you can see things is now common for everyone, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Cursor, VS Code AI, right? They all can use MCP protocol. Similarly, multiple tools can be accessed through it, like Gmail, Slack, GitHub, database, Google Drives, right? So for all AI models, we have one common MCP protocol that will help us to connect with multiple tools. So we can say that now developers are supposed to write only one time and then it can be used everywhere. Okay, so I think it gives you the clarity what would happen if there is no MCP server and no MCP context concept, or what will happen if we have MCP concept. Now let's try to understand it in more better way with some real world example. So imagine you have a AI tools like ChatGPT, Gmail, Google Drive, right? Now without MCP, ChatGPT cannot directly read your Gmail, right? Because we know that it's a AI model, it can accept the text and generate the text, right? Even though like there are multiple things that we are supposed to do with AI, right? But to achieve that thing, we need a MCP. Okay, we need a MCP protocol. So with MCP, ChatGPT will directly access the MCP client, then MCP server, and then Gmail API. So once it got connected with Gmail API, it can perform these all operations. It can read your emails, actually it can search your email, it can draft your replies, and it can also send the email. Okay, so that means to actually make the AI work, we need Model Context Protocol or MCP. Clear? Now the next thing is everyday analogy. So think of a TV, a set-top box, or a remote. Okay, so we all know that we have the term called universal remote that can be used with any TV, right? Doesn't matter which brand you are using. If it is a universal remote, it can be used there. So similarly, MCP is also a universal communication language between AI and tools. Okay, so if you are using AI with different tools, you can use this universal communication language. Okay, so I think till now everything is clear, like what is MCP, why do we really need it, and how it is helping us. Now we will move further and we'll talk about some of the main components of MCP. So there are mainly four main components. The first one is MCP host. So you can see the application where AI actually runs. Okay, so MCP host is basically like it's a place where we are going to run the APIs, AI, not APIs, AI, like ChatGPT desktop, Claude desktop, Cursor, VS Code. Okay, similarly we have second component, that is MCP client, which lives inside the host. So its job is mainly to ask for a data, send requests, receive responses. So you can just assume it as your messenger. Okay, through messenger we write message, we receive response, right? Similarly, MCP client also can be known as a messenger of MCP protocol. Okay, Then we have third component, that is MCP server, which basically provides access to the tools like GitHub server, Gmail server, file system server, database server. So it knows how to talk to the real application. Okay, so it goes beyond those text generation and actually connects and perform the operations on the real world applications. Clear? Now the fourth component is external tools. So these are the actual services that we want to use, like Gmail, Slack, GitHub, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Google Drive, and local files. So if you want to use any of these tools, then you definitely need a model context protocol, because it makes the things easier for us. Clear? Okay, so now we know all four components, which include MCP host, MCP client, MCP server, and external tools. It's time to understand how basically the MCP works in reality. Okay, so suppose like you ask AI, show me all the GitHub issues assigned to me. Okay, we want to find out all the GitHub issue that is assigned to me. So in that case, what will happen? This is the flowchart that will help you to understand the MCP working. So we simply connect AI, then it connect MCP client, it connect GitHub MCP server, then it got connected with GitHub API, then GitHub. From GitHub we got the response, then AI, and then again it got it provided to you. That means there are so many things that are performed behind the scene, but at the user end we will just provide one prompt and we will get the output. And it is all happening because of the MCP, because it really helps us to connect the AI with the specific tools. So AI is any model like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and tools could be also anything like GitHub, Gmail, anything. Okay, so we can say that we have one simple request, MCP, tool, and response. Clear? Okay, now let's try to understand what types of things an MCP server can provide. Okay, so there are multiple things, like first is tools, actions AI can perform like send email, create file, delete file, push code, search database, right? Second is resources. So data AI can read PDF, text file, database record, logs, and images. Third thing is prompt, like reusable prompts template. And so instead of writing generate meeting notes, we can simply write meeting summary. So in that case, MCP server supplies the full prompt template. Okay, don't worry if you are not getting these things. When we will be doing it practically, then you will get all things clear. Okay, but for now we are just talking in theoretical terms. Now let's take one example. Okay, so suppose we want to create a folder named report. So we will just send it to the AI that create folder reports. File system, MCP server receives it, then a server creates the folder and returns success message. So AI basically tells you at the end that folder created successfully, but on the behind the scene it is utilizing the MCP model context protocol that really help us to connect with the AI that required tools. Clear? Alright, now after understanding all these things, let's recall what are the advantages. The first advantage is one standard for all AI tools. Second, easy integration. Third, reusable servers. Fourth, secure access. Fifth, less coding. And sixth, work across different AI platforms. Okay, so that these are the advantages of MCP model context protocol. Now there are some popular common MCP servers which include GitHub, Google Drive, file system, Slack, Notion, PostgreSQL, MySQL, Jira, Docker, Kubernetes. So these are the all common MCP servers. Now as we have learned so many things today, so let's try to recall it in a very short way in a 30-second revision, and also let's discuss some of the easy memory trick that will help you to answer the questions in your interviews. So you can see MCP is nothing but a universal adapter. So like we have adapter which is common for all, similarly we have AI's universal adapter, that is MCP model context protocol. So just like USB-C connects many devices, similarly MCP connects AI with many tools. Okay, now let's revise the things that we have learned today. MCP is Model Context Protocol. It's a open standard. What are standards? Standards means rules, sort of rules. Okay, so for AI tool communication, one protocol for many application, components, host, client, server, tool. Okay, so this is the components, host, client, server, tool. Then server exposes to tools, resources and prompts, and makes AI integration simple, reusable and secure. So what would be our final takeaway from this session? That MCP is a USB Type-C for AI. So instead of creating a separate connections for every AI model and every application, MCP provide one common language that lets AI assistant actually access tools, files, database and service through the standardized MCP server. Clear? So I think this session is clear to all of you. Now in the next session we will talk about the practical things. We'll actually perform examples and we'll discuss the code. Okay, I'll explain you everything in a very simple terms, and I'm going to use Python language for that. But don't worry, if you want to use any other language you can use it, because overall concept of MCP would be same for everything, because we know that it's a common thing, right? So the intention behind the series is not to learn Python, but to actually use and understand the MCP protocol. Okay, so I'm not going to explain you the things related to Python. I'll explain you in a very sorted way, but in detail we have a separate playlist for the Pythons. From there you can learn. But yeah, for today, like we just discussed what are MCP in a theoretical terms. From next time we will be talking about the practical example. But before that you have to write the answer of one short question, and today's question is, what are the main components of MCP? So we discussed that in detail. I'm sure you got the answer of this question. So please do share your knowledge in the comment section, because it will not only help others to understand the concept, but it will also help you to recall your concepts, because going forward we are going to talk about so many things, right? So it's better to recall the things timely manner. Also, when you write the comments in the comment section, it provides me the notification, and I got the notification, then I realized that you guys are learning from these sessions, and that's why I will publish more sessions for this series. Okay, so it basically encourage me to release more sessions. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.